All right, we're here with Hall of Fame Huddle with Greg Whitmer, the second-year coach from Barberton. And Greg, can you go ahead and tell us who we're with here today?
Yeah, these are my three captains. This is Heather Sykes to my right, Bree Smith to her right, and then Riley Reese to her right. They're all three senior captains here for us.
And that means all three of these young ladies was here before you even started 2 years ago, so they kind of have a good idea of where things had been and where they're going now. You guys are currently on an 11-game winning streak. To kind of tell me how you guys have gotten to that point, starting with Coach.
Well, we kind of got off to a rough start, but I didn't really think it was rough. We knew those first three games were going to be tough. I mean, we had to go, all three of them were on the road, which I consider all three good opponents in Kent Roosevelt, which I think has only lost two up until this point now. Then we had to go over to Gilmore Academy, who is still undefeated, probably will be down in the Final Four. I had to play on their court, and then we finished it off with going to Hoban, who's also, Scott Callahan over there does a great job with his kids. And so we knew those three were going to be challenges. We felt we challenged two of the opponents. But after that, we had 11 days with no game because we're an independent school. So that was a little tough, but it did give us time to regroup, get organized, clean up some things that we needed to clean up, and knew the schedule ahead of us. You know, there were games obviously that we could win if we got our ducks in line, and I think that's kind of where it started.
From one of you guys' perspective, how as a player, how have you guys gotten to the point where you've been able to rattle off 11 wins in a row?
For me, it all started from the beginning. Really trusting our coach and actually learning basketball knowledge, because I thought I knew a lot about basketball, and once we broke it down and I really understood it, once you know the game, you really, really know the game, that's when everything starts to fall into place, from fundamentals to everything. Just because you're a good basketball player, you can make shots, that won't win the game for you. You have to know the game. So for me, that's what it was, knowing the game.
Overall, the 2 years before Greg got here and now the 2 years that you guys have been with him, working on 2 years, what was the biggest difference between those two coaching tenures that you guys can attribute the success to?
I'd probably say like the dedication and like how close our team is now to where it was the last 2 years before he was here. Our team wasn't together at all. We didn't have each other's backs. Nobody was close, and I feel like the way we are now, we can trust each other out on the floor, and that really helps.
Our relationships, our relationships grew a lot more than where. Before that, it was kind of every man for himself. Like, I want to show up because I want my name in the paper, and not because I want my team's name in the paper. It was just, I wanted this, not everyone together wanted it.
How do you guys stay focused? You haven't had success like this, and certainly since you guys have been in high school, and even way before that, you know, the success that the program's seeing hasn't been like that recently. How do you guys keep going and stay focused and not just get complacent with winning so many games in a row?
I think it's now that we have a target on our back, so we just want to keep going, make that target bigger. We just keep working hard. I don't think that we're getting too big-headed and thinking that, oh, we won 12 games. No, that's not it at all. You know, we still have to work hard. We're still not what Coach says. We still have goals to hit, and we're not perfect. We still need to get better every day.
And teams used to look at us like they can just be us, so we don't want to do that to another team, and then we come in and they flip the script on us, so you can't overlook an opponent.
And Coach Whitmer, you came from Twinsburg, and you obviously had a ton of success there. A lot of people probably might have thought you were a little bit crazy to come to Barberton. But first impressions on the team, what was some of the things that they were lacking, and some of the things that you wanted to move forward and use as a foundation?
I think Bree hit the nail on the head with just the fundamentals. I mean, believe it or not, we don't run a lot in practice. I mean, we've been running a little bit more lately, but you know, we just had to teach them how to shoot, pass, and dribble, plus the knowledge of the game until we could get that down. That was the first thing that was clear to me when I got here, was just we didn't have the skill set that we needed to. We kind of were handicapped by that, especially the first half of last season. We were still learning, plus learning the system. They were learning the terminology and everything that I wanted them to learn. But I think those were the biggest things that stick out to me. It wasn't so much the talent of the kid. I mean, there's athletes here just like there are everywhere, I guess, but just like in Twinsburg or anywhere else. But they pretty much have said it. I mean, they're so close together. They play for each other. You know, I coach as hard as I can for them, and they play as hard as they can for me. And it's just, believe it or not, it's been an unbelievably great experience. I mean, being at Twinsburg was an awesome experience, going to the final game in the state tournament with that great team. But that's kind of what I've tried to bring some of that and some of my other past where we've had success to this team, letting them know how hard you have to work. And it's not easy, and it's time and dedication, and they're just dedicating more and more time to what they want to get accomplished.
You always come to a coaching situation wanting to win and get better. I know that, but as far as the timetable, did you think you'd see this kind of success within a year and a half?
To be honest, no. I mean, you always want to win. I had told them last year, you know, our goal was, I think, to get to 8 games, and we got 9 because they hadn't won, I think, but 3 or 4 the most in the last 5 or 6 years. So that was a goal, and we upped that goal. And I told them, you know, this next goal was to get to 12 or 13, maybe 14, because now you're not surprising anybody any longer. Teams are starting to scout you. They're starting to respect you. I always use the term, you know, we were the yellow highlighter in everybody's schedule. I mean, everyone highlights, every coach highlights games they think they're going to win and ones that are going to be close. And I'm sure Barberton was highlighted on many schedules last year. I told them coming in this year that wouldn't be the case. Some of them will be question marks. So I think that's a big part of it is, but yeah, to answer your question, we're ahead. I mean, we're definitely ahead. I didn't predict that we would win 11 games in a row. I thought we'd be in all 11 games and win most of those games, but it's getting harder now. The stress level's going up, the pressure's starting to build, and so far, you know, I think 2 key games we've kind of got through that. One was the Cloverleaf game on the road, got a lot of respect for their coach and their team, and beating them on their floor, which I've always thought was a tough place to play. And also the late game. I mean, Coach Cobb does a tremendous job with his kids, and his staff is a top-notch staff. I mean, they do really, I mean, they lost a lot of kids, but they're still a good basketball team, even though their record isn't indicating it now. So I think the kids believe me so far. They really trust me because I don't lie to them. I don't sugarcoat anything. You know, if I tell them opponent's really good and we got to play, they know it. If I tell them they have weaknesses, you know, so far they've really bought in, which has made it go faster than I think it would have gone.
And from the kids' perspective, you guys started off 0-3. Greg mentioned he had confidence in you guys anyway, but you know, how did you guys stop from the team morale just going down and saying, oh, here we go again, and then creating that turnaround?
We just knew that we had to get in the gym and work harder together. I mean, we had to push each other, and I mean, we knew we couldn't just come out and just win any game. We have to, after we lost those 3 games, it was time to really work hard, and we were going to come back and start winning.
And I think before those 3 games, we all sat down together and we had a long talk, and we knew that it wasn't going to be easy. So if we could get through those 3 games, and then after we regroup and just get back to doing what we're used to doing, that really helped. And like Coach said, we had 11 days off. Not off, but we practiced every day, and I think that really helped us get our mindset that we could turn this thing around. So
I just trusted him. I mean, I knew it wasn't the end. Like, it's like he leads the pack. I don't question Coach. It's just if we lose those 3 games and he says there's 12 or 13, I know that there's 12 or 13 that we're gonna win. Like I not for 1 second did I think, oh, here we go again. Like, it was just like, okay, those 3 games. Shake it off, dust it off, and let's get 12 and 13 more.
And when did you guys realize that you could really do something special? Because to win 11 games in a row, you know, that's 11 games that you don't take a day off. You know, you come ready to play every night, and you have played some good teams. You know, when did you guys realize that, you know, this isn't just going to be a 50, you know, a 500 season, and we could really do something special?
I'll start. I think it was the Cloverleaf game. We prepared, like the day before that game, we were so focused like I've never seen before, and going into that gym, we knew we were going to win, and I think that's what we built on. We can do it. Like, that's the game that set the tone for us, and we knew we could win a lot of games from there. I think that's where I was at.
I agree.
All right. Well, I thank you guys for your time, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.